Hi there, how are you?
Do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of America, and to the republic
to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
let's go up here. Hello, sir. Hi there.
All right. All right, so I'm going to do roll call. Yep. So, Kennedy.
Yes.
Becky.
Here.
Strawson.
Yes, ma'am.
McCubbin.
Yes.
And
Yep.
all here. Quorum.
Okay. Let's see, we got the approval. First we want to look at the prior minutes. Got it? Dig into those.
Oh, those were the ones that you told me to. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so those actually. Yeah, okay.
Well, what are you going to do?
I did it down.
Okay, guys, read them over. All right, I need a motion to the previous minutes.
Did you get through?
Yeah. I move to accept the minutes as presented to us in the previous meeting.
All right.
I'll second that motion.
All right. So, roll call. Kennedy.
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Strawson.
Yes.
McCubbin.
Yes.
Medlin.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, the accounts, the bank accounts we'll go to first before I get into the bills. The town is $24,521.80. The GA is $67,371.26. The park is $156.87. Road and bridge, $152,008.91. The equipment and buildings is $43,426. The joint bridge, $120,241.58. Okay. Town bills. We got Julie Quigley for the payroll of $200. Oop, go ahead, everybody. We'll see if we're good. Let's print it out. Okay. So we'll see what we got. So you got Julie Quigley, then you got Surf Air, $84.95, AT&T, the landline, $121.68, McGrath, $135, it's a copier rental, and what's this other one that we found? We got this right on it, same thing?
So that was for McGrath, the copier rental. We received a bill from them for, I believe it was August of last year, that never got paid. And so I called them and I went over all of our checks that we sent them, all of the ones that they were cashed and what statements that they went to. And the August one from might have even been earlier than that, so it was prior to this board that was not paid, and so that was back pay for one of
Okay,
the months that it hadn't been paid.
thank you. ComEd, 129.63. We got some Dollar General correction tape. So you use that when you make a mistake?
I don't make mistakes.
Okay, that was for my mistakes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We got the Target AT&T card, 39.13. Staples hanging folders, 40.72. AT&T SIM card, 5.31. What's the 92 over here
That's
for?
a total of all of those amounts.
I got you, okay. And you got the Leonard McCubbin, this is the 19 CH-1048 lawsuit settlement, $3,000. Ansel Glink, $2,500. Let's see, Mike, Sherry, and Jeff Sorensen, all of those are $50 apiece for phone reimbursement for January. So supervisor salary, $791.67, Sherry, $416.67, Billy Strawson, Kathleen Kennedy, Leonard McCubbin, and Mike McHugh are all at $80 each. Mary Jones, $666.67, Jeff Sorensen, $1,000. The total is $9,744.23. Want to read them all, or you want to get a motion to accept the township bills?
Actually, you can
Or you
do
want to just do
assessor,
it?
well, no, you do assessor in part for next.
Okay.
Approve those.
All right, I think, where's this? Well, I got that.
I had a question. What's the AT&T card?
So basically what that was is for the assessor's phone, the way that the resolution was drawn up was that the assessor was going to have the cell phone, the AT&T cell phone that she previously had. Well, then Mary had gone to the house, and so she was going to do, she requested the reimbursement instead of using the cell phone to do a reimbursement for the house phone, but then that was already in works to set that cell phone back up. So basically that's for the assessor's cell phone at this point.
The SIM cards for the same thing?
Yes.
Shouldn't that come out of the assessor's budget?
Not a line item for it, and I mean, if you guys wanted it set up that way, I'm sure you guys could address the issue, but it's not set up that way, and I don't even know if there's a line item for a phone on the assessor's budget.
Shouldn't it be under office?
We're going to say under office supplies.
Under office equipment? Okay.
Office supplies or office equipment, do you have one of those?
Yeah, I'll change it if you want.
However,
It never has been taken out of the assessors, but doesn't matter to me.
Okay, the GA, the assessor, and the park, there's nothing. Okay, let's go ahead.
so the other thing that you needed to address was that we did receive this bill from Ansel and Glink that we can approve the payment of it, but we aren't putting it on the warrant because of the
Gotcha.
agreement to make the payments.
All right, so what's the total?
So the total of that, there is, let's see, 2 hours for the road district, and then the rest of it would be hours, and the total is 1,200.
Okay, so there's 1,200 to Ansel Glink for the month. We pay them the payments on the balance, so that's why it's not on the warrants, because we just pay them a set amount every month. That's the way we set it up. So this was 1,200 for this month. 400 of it went to would be the road district, and the rest would be ours, correct? Okay. And you obviously, you guys can get a copy of it if you want it. You can see what it is. Doesn't matter.
So we need approval of the total bills.
Okay. So need a motion to approve the town bill and the road district.
I'll make a motion to approve the town bills.
Okay.
I can second that.
Okay, so roll call, Kennedy,
Yes.
Vecchio,
Yep.
Strawson,
Yep.
McCubbin,
Yes.
Medlin.
Yep.
All right, passed. Go ahead, road
Okay,
district.
road district. We have Homewood Disposal for 5124. And then we get, so we got two of those. So did we have one of those that was behind too?
Yes.
Okay.
That was a double bill.
Okay. One that we did not pay, right?
Correct.
Okay. So you got Skyline Construction, 600 gallons of hot mix. What is that? What is that? What is from Skyline, that 600,
What's the hot mix?
yeah, what's the hot mix?
I think the primer got.
I got it, okay. 450, you can just tell them what that is later, but we'll get it. Fisher Auto Parts, I got three of those. One is 3814, one is for wires and battery cables and switches, and 3814, 1427, an air filter of 8076. You got some pallet forks from John Deere for $7.99. It's for the skidder. Some hoses for the skid steer. Maybe John Deere, that's $200. You got some chainsaw parts from All Power, that's $260.91. We got LRM is some 4-foot blades and rotary shoulder bolts. I'm assuming that's for that boom mower you got out there. All right. So then you got WeSip liquors, and then you got that's for chainsaw gas, $12.94. Mike Be Shore Tree Service. That was for a tree removal on Indian Trail. I'm assuming, what was that big cottonwood tree we had taken out? It's $3,000. Whitmore Ace Hardware. We got a bunch of these, so I'll just read all of them down and then I'll stop when I get to the next deal. So you got some UPS return blades, which I'm assuming that's for that machine that we got the wrong blades on, right? We got some Material Road Spray, 8417, tube of vinyl and water sprayer project. So I'm assuming that's for that deal you got hooked up there for that sprayer for the road, okay? Same thing, tube vinyl road sprayer 931, sprayer project 3478. Same thing here again, 5548, 3047, and 3949 is all that sprayer project there for what they spray on the roads. Welding rods for $26.99, sponges and wiper blades, $22. A nylon elbow is $4.30. Sprayer project, the next three is going to be $30.10, $19.90, and $29.85. Paper towels for the shop, $51.92. Some windshield wiper blades, that was Joe Woodward, $9.62. And then you have Prairie material for $952.98, and that's rock. And we're going back over here too. Okay. We have some more stone for $277.30. Another load of stone, $139.43. Fuel for plowing for Jeff Sorensen, $51. And then we got 4 more fuels, so $161, $80, $50, and $50. From Dibble, we got propane for $1,136.45. Then we got some salaries here. Sidley, Telly, whatever, $1,045. Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
I'll get it. Well, I'm sorry, Telly. James Coyle, $930. Carl Goodwin, $915. Vicky, $757. And then the next one is the same thing, Tully, it's $425. And you got Jim Coyle, $712. And you got Carl at $307.50. And Vicky at $435. The total of all those bills, this back side, that's all. Okay, $14,772.99. Okay. You guys look them over and give me a motion, okay?
The tree on Indian Trail Road, was that down? The tree on Indian Trail Road from Be Shore, was that down?
No, it wasn't down. It's that cottonwood that was out here. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all dead and just falling all over the road. We were constantly pushing the branches back off the edge of the road. The big old cottonwood.
It was a mess.
A little better than 6 foot around on the base.
Yeah, it was a big guy. So we already got the okay, guys.
I'll make the motion, go ahead and pay the road district bills.
I'll second that motion.
Where's my supervisor's report, guys?
Yeah,
Oh, we gotta do the roll call, I'm
Yep,
sorry, Shane.
that's okay. All right. So roll call for the road district bills. Kennedy?
Yes.
PQ?
Yes.
Strawson?
Yes.
McCubbin?
Yes.
Medlin?
Yep.
All right.
Okay, now we have, that's done, what do you got? Okay, we got a polling place change, which is going to be, the old location was the First Christian Church over there on Church Street. The new one is going to be the Christian Faith Center on Water Street. So, you guys got that? Huh?
It's 102.
The one down there across from John Paul.
Across, yeah.
The next thing is, we talked to the county about putting this park on for a referendum for a tax increase, to put it on the tax rolls. We're going to have to wait until November to do it, so we can put that together to put it on there. So we are going to put a referendum on the ballot for the park. So it'll be on there in November. Okay?
That's for park maintenance tax.
Yes. Yes, sir. So,
Taxes,
yeah. The next thing is, okay, let's get to this thing right here. We have this agreed order that you guys can vote on. That's for that, that's for the Leonard's lawsuit there. And this is not done through a settlement agreement. From what I'm told, this is the way it has to be done because Leonard sits on the board. So this is an agreed order. And I'm not an attorney, so this is what I'm told, the way it had to be done. So, you know, if it's not done right, it's right. And so, anyway, it's all signed and done. And you guys agreed to it, and we're going to pay it. $3,000. That's not going towards Mexico, is it?
I'd already left it.
Okay, all right, gotta get a motion to pay for that, guys. Yeah, okay, I want to make that clear. Leonard's not getting anything out of this. This is for lawyers' fees. And my question to him was just, I tried to say it quietly because he told me he was going to Mexico, and I made sure that that wasn't part of the Mexico trip. And so he vehemently denied it in a really nice way with less language than I want to get into. But anyway, that's not how he's getting there. But anyway, he's not getting anything out of it. That was just legal fees for the attorney. So, need a motion, fellas.
I move that we pay it. So, what do we call it, the Leonard McCubbin deal?
The Leonard McCubbin CH 1048 settlement agreement.
Yeah, that one.
That one, that worked for me.
Is it actually, okay.
Second.
Instead of agreement, agreed order.
Yeah.
We're going to put that. Yeah, I need a couple copies, so we're good. All right, so Strawson, seconded by Kathleen. Okay, roll call. Kennedy?
Yes.
Vecchio?
Yes.
Strawson?
Yep.
McCubbin?
Abstain.
Medlin?
Yes.
So passed.
All right. The AFR, I got an email yesterday, I think it was, that it would be done the beginning, early next week. So it is what it is. You know, we've been chasing that thing forever, and like I keep telling you, the situation that we were in, we barely got anybody that wanted to do it because they got beat up so much on this thing by not getting the information. So I basically begged these people to do it, so I'm at their mercy. So when they get it done, and I've stayed on top of it, just so you know, I've talked to June at the state of Illinois to explain to her what's going on. She's all good with this. I forwarded that email to her today, and she's all fine with that, just to keep her posted. So hopefully next week, the next thing I forward her is the AFR. So we're working on it. And when I get it, you guys can get it, okay? All right, so the GA fund abatement. I called the county to get involved. I told this to you at the last meeting. They say they will not get involved. There's nothing, they can't get involved on something like this. So what I'm being told is that it cannot be done. The GA fund, that's what I'm being told, is that you can abate what is done this year, but you cannot abate what is in the account. Now, I'm only being told, like I say, I could give the money back what was done this year, but the reason I'm being told that I can't do it the other way is because there are people that have paid more than other people, and then you have to go down through the line to make sure that's all done right. Some people don't live here anymore that have paid into the GA fund, and they could possibly say they have the right to it. I don't know if all that's true, but that's what I was told. So if it's not true, and you know it's not true, and there's a way it can be done, I'm willing to do it. But so far, that's the information I've been given, so I'm not trying to,
By two different sources as
yeah,
well.
I'm not trying to be deceiving to you folks about it. I have tried, and this is what I was told, is that you can't go back and take what is old money and give it back, but you can give what's there this year. But again, what we got this year, since I reduced the rate of it, is, you know, by the time you dispersed it amongst all the residents, you wouldn't get a cup of coffee out of it, because we're not putting any money into it, basically hardly anything now. So, you know, the confusing part to me is that it's to me, and what I've been told, it's illegal to have that much money there, but yet I'm not sure how to disperse it. So I'm going to try to dig into it a little further, but honestly, I don't know where to go with it right now. So I'm not going to give up on it. I just got to check some other sources and try to see what's going on. But like I say, I'm not trying to just push it off to the side. It just gets a little discouraging when you work and try to get something done, and people supposedly that know what they're talking about say you can't do it. So that's the answer to that. So we got Leonard's thing done. Okay, we're going to amend this ordinance for the travel reimbursement. It was at 35 cents. We want to put it at 58 cents. That's the mileage, correct? Mm-hmm. Which would be up to date with what is currently being done out there. So, you guys got that in front of you? Yep. You see it. So that's more updated. So, go ahead, John.
If you make it the standard IRS rate, then you never have to redo it. If it goes up, you pay more. If it goes down, you pay less.
Right. And that's kind of what we were going to go with. That's actually what, so you guys can word it that way, to just go with the standard IRS rate. That's at 58 cents right now, so.
I'll make a motion to adopt the standard IRS rate
Yeah, we can do that.
at current year.
I'll second that.
At forever, for intuitive, yes. Yes, for intuitive.
That way you don't have to keep changing it. I get it. Okay? Make a motion.
I made the motion.
Proclamation, you get a
Yep.
second?
I second it.
Okay, Billy second.
All right, so to adopt the standard IRS rate. Okay, roll call. Kennedy.
Yes.
Vecchio.
Yes.
Strawson.
Yes.
McCubbin.
Yes.
Medley.
Yep.
Okay.
Next is, we want to propose a resolution for the FOIA request. It's pretty standard. The first 50 pages are free. The next 50, 15 cents per page. Pretty standard.
And also,
Or I FOIA'd something from the county, and that's what it was on the bottom of their page. It was 15 cents.
and the other thing was, in addition to that, we had talked about anything that's not kept in PDF format needs to be converted to PDF format. Those were the
So much per hour.
fees. It's like $20 up to 2 megabytes, $40. So I know I included that one for you guys as well, if you had a chance to look that over.
That's basically if we don't hold the document in a format that's requested, up to, I think it was 2 megabytes. If we have to reformat it, it's $20. And I think that's on the FOIA page.
Yeah, it is. So,
I'm really hoping we never have to use that, to be honest with you.
it's like FOIA approved law.
It's in the FOIA
Yeah,
statute.
It's in the FOIA statutes.
Where at?
In the very end,
At the end of it?
very end of that thing.
Okay.
Yep, I've
Like
got
on
it
the
here.
100,
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
107 page or something. There's 108 pages, I think it's like 105 for that thing.
I got it.
I do want to say thanks to Sherry. She's done a great job on the FOIAs. They have been building steam a little bit. They kind of went away and now they're coming back. So I want to say thanks to her for all of her hard work on those.
Thank you, Sherry.
She's done an awesome job there
So you guys,
with everything, actually.
want to adopt the FOIA fees that I had put in front of you.
Motion if you want to adopt those fees. Standard.
I'll make a motion to adopt the FOIA regulations as proposed.
I second that.
Okay.
Can I ask a somewhat related, unrelated question?
Yeah, just let me do roll call real quick. Kennedy?
Yes.
Vecchio?
Yes.
Strassen?
Yep.
McCubbin?
Yes.
Medlin?
Yep.
Okay.
The FOIAs probably go down a little bit once the website's done with TOA. Is there an estimated time when you're planning on doing that and getting, so we can get back to the old minutes and stuff like that?
To be honest with you, none of the FOIAs are really relevant to what was on the website before, as
Yeah.
far as minutes and things like that. At this point, we've kind of discussed it, and there's so many other things that need to be done with the financial aspect of things, that right now, we weren't able to maintain the site, so instead of renewing the fees, we just decided not to renew it, stopped that, and we have not started the new one yet, simply just because we don't have the time to invest in it, and we don't have the time to go back and keep the other one
Because it is
updated.
harder not having an open government website to where we can go in and get that information without having to bother the FOIAs. So having to pay for FOIAs is kind of like redundant to me because we don't have the ability to look it up ourselves. So we have to FOIA. We don't have a choice.
So these fees are going to pertain to things that are not in electronic format. In other words, if it's an electronic format, the way I'm reading this, there's not going to be any fees to it unless it's over 20 megabytes.
Correct.
You know, so
There's no free conversion to do it. You have to pay $20 to convert.
That's
it.
only if it's not in a format that we don't use, like whatever format we use, if it's Word or whatever it is. If we got to reformat it to a PDF or whatever,
I have
if
a
it's
free
something
program
different.
on my computer. I can reformat anything.
So, if-
And I
then
don't
you,
pay for it.
then you wouldn't
It's a
need to
free
worry about it,
program.
because however we send it to you, you could reformat it.
Absolutely.
So you wouldn't even worry about that. We could just send it to you and you could reformat it yourself. The thing is, if you request us to reformat it,
Okay, so
And a lot of
it's
that stuff is in
specific to
paper.
request.
Correct.
It's
And a lot of
specific to
that
the-
absolutely, no,
records.
Becky, we're not gonna charge you if you, no.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, no.
Trying to clarify.
No, it's only if you receive it and say, I can't open it. You gotta
Okay.
reformat it for me. Then we would reformat it. We would have to try to reformat it for you.
That, and then it'll also pertain to anything that's kept in paper format that we have to then convert to a PDF. So there's a lot of documentation that has had to be converted into a PDF because it's been in paper format. So if anything is in paper format and that's requested, then if you're going to go over the 2 megabytes, then those fees will then take place. So when we have paper stuff, because what happens is if things are kept in paper format, all of that has to be, anything that has to be redacted, like the amount of paper I go through in there is absolutely crazy when I do FOIAs, because if things have to be redacted, then I have to print it all, I have to go through, I have to redact it, then we have to scan it into the system to make a PDF file. So there's a lot involved behind the FOIAs instead of just like getting on and clicking and sending it. So it's more about the work and the paper that's behind.
I would think that in an editing program, you could redact it right on the.
You may be able to.
Okay. Look into an editing program.
But we don't currently do it that way, so that's the way we're doing it now.
Okay.
So it is what it is.
It
Okay,
is.
the fiscal year schedule meeting. I can go down the line. We got, Sherry, you got 2 of these on here. What is
Yeah,
this
so one is an annual meeting, one is a town meeting.
It's done the same way.
Mhm.
Okay, all right, so you got the April 14, you got May 12, you got June 9, you got July 21, August 11, September 15, October 20, November 10, December 8, January 12, February 9, March 9, and April 13. So obviously you can come get a copy of this so you know what it is. So-
That's if they approve it. If you guys want to look over it or compare it to your
Is that
schedule
for
or whatever, that's
2020
fine.
or 2021?
This is 2021 dash,
Yeah.
the 2-year, the carryover. I can't remember the last annual meeting, but I can remember the meeting, but not time span on it. Is that half hour going to be enough for the electors to have a fluent meeting?
Probably not. However you guys want to do it. I mean, if you want to do the town meeting first and then do the annual meeting
just let it
after,
go. We can swap them around.
you can do that if you want.
Didn't we start the annual meeting at 6 last year?
But that was,
I can't remember, it seemed like it was a long meeting.
Didn't we start the annual meeting at 6 last year?
I thought it was 6:30.
I thought it was an hour meeting beforehand.
I can look on the form in here and see what they have listed.
Is that what you'd like to do?
No, I'd like to not do it at all, but that's what we need to do.
I just want to make sure
Yeah, it was
we're not cutting
6:30.
the,
Huh?
It was 6:30.
Was it?
I just want to make sure we're not cutting the electorate short.
So what do you want to do? What do you guys want to do?
Just run one meeting into another.
Do you want to start with the town meeting first and then do the annual?
I think we need to keep the
Annual meeting first.
annual meeting first.
I guess if it just runs past, it runs past.
Right.
Let's just do
Just
that.
run it in there like that, okay?
Okay.
So we're basically just gonna keep going then, all right, we can do that. So anyway, that's that, you guys vote on it.
I move that we accept the scheduled meeting for the fiscal year 2021 the way it's read.
I second that.
Is this gonna be at the same place where we had to be out at a certain time?
Be right here.
Be right here, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Who did the first motion?
Who made the first?
I did, then Mike.
Michael seconded.
All right, to accept the scheduled meetings as read for 2021. Roll call Kennedy?
Yes.
Vecchio?
Yes.
Strassen?
Yes.
McCubbin?
Yes.
Medlin?
Yep,
All right.
okay.
Assessor's budget.
Oh yeah, we got that, let's look at that.
Yes.
Good job.
You got another one? Okay.
This is not something that's very neat. This is not something that. This is for them to review, not necessarily
Right.
approve. So you guys review it, and then it will be part of the town budget.
Right.
And then at that point, they'll have to be displayed for the 30 days. So at what point do they have to accept it or vote on it, or?
Actually, it'd probably be easier if at the next meeting they decide it's up or not. That way I know they don't think I should make changes.
Okay.
So once you accept it, then I don't make any changes.
Okay.
If you need time for that, but assessor's always done early so that since it's part of the town,
could be
you
added to
got it
ours.
now, so you can start on yours. Because hopefully, ideally, you want it in place for April 1st, but
Yes.
Okay, so you want to go over it? Len, you got some questions?
Yeah, I got some questions about it, Mary. You've got wages down here. That's your wages?
nope.
Whose
All
wages are-
officials are part of the town budget, even the road
Right.
commissioner.
Right,
So the wages would be people that work for me.
okay, and this past year, what have you paid this last year in wages?
If I would have gotten the year-to-date all the time from somebody, I would know. I have no clue.
Do you know?
I gave you that year to date today.
For now,
Yeah.
the whole year.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah, this fiscal year, so since April 1st.
I wasn't able to keep up with it because I never got the reports for it.
Yeah, that was on there. So if you flip to that page that says assessor on it, it tells you all of your line items.
$49.
Let's see.
How much? $4,929.03.
49.
I think that showed it.
4,900 what?
$4,929.03.
Thank you.
And how many months is that for?
That's my special one.
That's from April
That's
1 till
since
now.
April. This is the up-to-date this
So-
fiscal
so-
year, so
so-
April 1st until today's date.
So we're 9 months into it then. Okay, I think you ought to revisit that because the numbers are gonna be off on that. If you're 4,900 right now, you're off on that number, I think.
From when to when?
That's
Last-
from April 1st till now. You've been at 49.29 and some change.
But this, you've got February and March.
Right.
That's it.
2 months, yeah, maybe closer.
Then it becomes the next fiscal year, April 1st. So I've only got 2 months.
Okay.
So
And how
I
about,
should be plenty safe.
right, how about your payroll deductions, and you got nothing done for payroll deductions?
That I, there again, have no clue, since somebody else does payroll. So I just kind of put enough.
What
in
if you
there
went
for
off
it.
of like last fiscal year?
You know, for sure.
I'm
What
trying
was
to
it?
diversity of them.
You didn't have the budget from
You're
last-
7.65% on your Fed.
I kind of figured it out, but there again, I don't know what other people did.
Up to 14,000, but it'd still be under the number. Yeah.
So you had last year on the budget, you had payroll taxes at 1,100.
Where
Was
I'm-
budgeted.
Where I'm going with this, with a $7,000 budget plus taxes and withholdings and matching funds, your assistant's salary is gonna outweigh your salary.
It already does. By the amount of time I put in, and everybody else too, I'll bet you get, maybe $5 an hour because of the time we put in. And Sherry, I know, is a lot less than that.
She's down around 2, I think.
So there's no way. She makes more than me,
So what is she making out of it?
14.
Paying her $14 an hour.
Yep.
And you get 5.
Okay?
I'll figure out hours.
But
She's got some joy. That $5 comes with a lot of happiness though.
under your,
Pays for asking.
under your contractual services,
$2? Yeah.
maintenance service equipment,
That is especially Joe O'Dane. He's the one that created the CAMA system, which is what the assessor uses to do the assessing.
okay,
And he's coming shortly to switch things to county. So he's got a lot of updating. He comes different times a year. Because obviously mine has to match county and vice versa. So whenever he comes, he's actually $61 an hour.
okay.
So I wanted to put enough in there to make sure it's covered.
Okay,
I have to have a system.
Gotcha. You got down at the previous year, we spent $1,000.
That's what you budgeted last year.
Okay.
That's what I was
Any idea what
allowed
the-
last year,
the
but I
actual-
asked for 2 at the time.
The actual expenses were,
So under this maintenance is this Joel thing, is that what you're saying?
How many hours would you figure he's doing? Because that's,
This guy.
How many hours a year does he put in for
Under
it?
this maintenance service.
Right.
Does he put in?
right,
yeah, for
Hey,
doing
Mary.
it.
Joel O'Dane, when
it
he
more than
comes
200?
in, what line item do you want that taken out of? Because I think we took it out of training. Do you want that out of maintenance
It should
service?
be out of maintenance, it's
Okay.
not training.
Okay, we'll switch that then.
I don't know, how many hours would you guess? Because if he does 200 hours worth, that's
No.
1,210. $61 an hour.
Maybe 10 hours.
Masonry down 6.
There's 3 times he comes, maybe 3 hours.
So that's 610,
Okay.
roughly.
But also maintenance service equipment is if I need John Coyle to fix the computers or something.
So how often does that happen?
Both of them are in there.
Just,
This past year was a lot. Yeah, this past year was a lot.
So we don't know what we spent on it, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Sherry's got mine. Do you have another copy?
Two,
you
it's
go.
right here, actually. They're right
I
up
have
on the
too
table.
much maintenance. Oh, no, the year to date.
oh,
Sorry.
This one right here.
Thank you for doing that for me.
You're welcome. So what I was just asking you here, so this is the assessor. So I was thinking Joel is out of this line item here for training, but I can move him up.
Only
So
thing
that's
should
not a
be out
big
of
deal.
training is paying for classes and conference.
Okay,
That's
so,
it.
which is fine, I can just move that up, that's not a big deal. So then that amount will then go up to there, so that'll be 790, whatever. Okay, but I'll change that and then correct it for you.
Because we're showing we spent 275 to date right now for Joel Dane.
So, because that's what I was just explaining to her. In the budget, Joel Daney was taken out of training expenses, so you can see it's 518. That needs to be actually put up underneath service equipment, so that'll bring that total, the 517, or 518 plus the 275 is going to be the maintenance service.
So then the 275 would have been coil,
Pardon me?
and the 275 would have been.
Yeah,
non-coil.
coil's in there, yep.
Right. Right. Okay. So you're gonna leave, you're gonna take him out of training and put him into the contractual.
It should be a contractual.
Okay.
Correct. Yep, maintenance.
Training should be nothing but paying for classes or conferences.
Okay. So we're still well under $1,000.
If you want to cut it down to 1,000, then I hope you don't go any farther.
I'm saying that'd still give you a blanket.
Yep.
That's still gonna give you, $250 blanket thereabouts.
If there's an emergency, I'm screwed.
Well, we can always move things around, if the time comes.
Okay, make it 1,000. If you look at the bottom line, I knocked off 2,625 from last year.
Right.
And last year, I knocked off 2,525 from the year before. So, come on, guys.
Well, actually, and I tell you what, everybody, okay? That's the problem we have with the last administration, or I have with the last administration, was the overspending and unaccountability of funds.
This does not mean I'm going to spend it.
Yes,
But if it's not in here, I can't spend it.
I understand that.
So
Where I'm going with that is, we need to keep this, in my opinion, in that direction. As far as saving money coming out of the township fund, the town fund anyway. The township fund, what do we get, $75,000 a year on a gross?
80 grand.
$80,000 on the gross, okay? And if we were to add your salary back to this number, which is actually expense occurred to the township, okay?
Township
For
budget.
the assessor side, you would be over almost $22,000, which, yes, out of the 80, which is 25% of our total operating money.
And it still needs to be adjusted, because that was my first year, and you don't know what's coming up. All right, let's make it 1,000.
I just think what Leonard's saying is if it's been overinflated and you think it could be.
Yes,
Now you're trying to bring it down to a realistic number.
Yes.
Just because you can cut, if something's overinflated and you say I reduced it $2,000, that's great, but maybe it should have been $3,000.
Just because the number's there,
Just depends.
that's the way I look at it, the number is just a number. Reality, what you spent last year is a fact.
Exactly.
Who knows if I'm going to spend exactly this year?
Well, and that's where we put a buffer zone in there. You spent $700 and some odd dollars,
You got 1,000.
and we're giving you 1,000, so there's your buffer zone. That's a 25% buffer right there. That's a pretty good buffer. You start talking percentages.
793.
Well,
To date.
right,
And
okay.
that doesn't include the next 2 months.
Right, yeah, too much go, right. And that's why you want to work it. In all actuality, there shouldn't be anything left in the kitty at the end of the year. It should be an empty piggy bank. We should operate tight enough that we're not getting excess funds laying around.
And he is coming back at the end of this month, so you are going to have another
All right,
one
well, all right.
before the end of
But there again, you said 3 hours, so it's another $180, yeah.
So you're still within the
We're still within the $1,000 number.
postage. I don't get because we had nothing last year, and then we got 300 this year. What about the postage, Mary? We had nothing last year, but 300 this year.
No, because remember I talked to you about trying to find out residents that are seniors, 65 and older, and I need to somehow get information to them. So whether it be flyers, sending directly once I find out who's eligible or other. So it was, in other words, I'm hoping to get more information out to people that need it.
All right, that's a good thing.
So that was just a guess.
I believe you go to post office, so us being a government body, your number drops way down on bulk mailings.
I hope so.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it drops way down.
You're okay with that?
On your travel expenses here, okay?
350 to 50.
You got $1,500. Is that for TOIA training, or what is that for?
The local travel, as you can see, that's field work. I have to go measure, have to go to county for meetings, have to go to county for papers. That's why it's $100. And I
Right, understand
I
that.
forget to turn in. The
Right.
other is when I go to Springfield, I have to keep up my education. 2 classes a year.
Okay.
So that's 4 trips back and forth to
Two
Springfield.
round
And that
trips.
also, 2 round trips. That also includes the lodging and either meals or per diem. I think we did per diem, which was $25 a day.
Okay.
So I guarantee you that's cutting it close too, so.
Okay. So
But that includes all of that.
Gotcha. Now, if it's true on the travel side, on the actual year-to-date, you're $271.48. So that tells me you're looking for an increase of $1,230.
Because I did not take any classes last year.
All the travel expenses
And
are
if they
left
were
into
put in the
one, so
proper
basically
line
we
item,
got
that's true, but if
$1,600.
not,
Because there's only one line item there for 271. That was travel expenses, so it was probably both of them.
Right.
So you got 1,600 and then you minus the 271, and that's what you got left to make 2 trips to Springfield.
To me, and I do some traveling out of state and stuff for seminars and stuff, and I can go to Cleveland a couple times a year for that kind of dollars. And fly out.
Well, her mileage to go down to Springfield twice and back, and it's $348.
$348.
600 miles, it's 150 each way.
How much? 648?
Well, it'd be 348.
350.
If I took 600 miles times 58 cents.
You gotta go twice, right? What's your lodging when you're there? 100 and a half, 100 and a quarter?
it depends because they hold a lot. I'd say 120.
120, so okay. You got another 240, so we're still under $600 there.
It's usually 3 days because you have class for 2 and the 3rd day is the test.
Okay, so
So only 2 nights.
so you get 2 nights down there at a time? What you need? Okay.
Yeah, that's $590 with the mileage. The lodging and the mileage.
She needs 2 more for 5 nights lodging? 4 nights lodging, right? 4 nights lodging.
All together, there's 2 classes.
4
And then
nights.
there's conference in there too.
830 with mileage.
Yeah, 8:30. I was.
So you can bring a tent.
Pardon?
You can bring a tent.
Yeah, the actual, calling the Billy over here, the actual comes out to $830. We went off them numbers. I'd suggest to bring that down around 1,000 as well. On the travel mileage per diem.
Didn't put in meal.
Yeah, what's per diem paying nowadays? Meal per diem?
Yeah, what's a meal per diem?
$40 a day, something like
Meals
that?
or per diem. I can either turn in my meal tickets, which I kept them, and it's more like, 30, 35,
Per day?
or I do per diem, which is 25.
Okay, so we got,
Whichever you want.
so we
I've
got,
been doing just
so
per
we got
diem.
6 days per diem then.
That's another 150.
And I guarantee you, normally, most places are $50
Or $9.80.
To Springfield, that doesn't include a local travel.
No, her local trails broke down another.
She's already got that in another line.
It's another line item.
So we're at 900.
Yeah. I'd like to see you work on that a little bit, Mary.
Pardon?
I'd like to see you work on that a little bit if you could. Your actual cost, according to Bill here, comes up about $980 for 2 trips to
So say
Springfield
1,000.
with lodging and per diem.
Conference, there's another one. The conference is for 3 days, 4 days, Kathy, remember?
Springfield?
Realize that.
Yeah, 3,
That was in the fall.
that's 3 days.
Yeah, that's,
Doesn't Toya come out of the town fund for you too?
Pardon?
No.
It doesn't? Okay. Yeah, we'll leave it at 50.
yeah, that's, it comes up over 1,200 bucks. That way we got a line there to pull something from if we got to move something around. And
Just don't do it like they did last year, 350 wouldn't even
No,
pay for one class.
no, you can't do that. No, I agree with that.
When we get the training, it's 300 per class. It's not very good.
Right, that's a set number.
Yep. The manuals and workbooks, that was a set access.
No, that's a conservative number. Yeah, that's a curiosity on my part. Yep. Other than paper and, well, wait a minute, stamps together.
It's a separate line.
Right. What office supplies are you actually using? Don't you use most supplies in here?
Right now, I'm taking paper home to use, and I'm using ink because I'm not coming all the way in here to get it off this printer. Other than that, it's normal office. There again, that's a yes.
I do, but I don't think we've ever charged you for any of that. I think that the township just pays for all of the paper. Yeah, I don't remember what I.
Well, you wouldn't go through a case of paper a year, would you?
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, you would be
Well, okay, that's just a question.
You'd be surprised.
Then, on your capital outlays, this was on there last year as well. You remember this? Cameras, laptop, and software. The software, is it, we talking the same software that you have this Joe come out and take on a regular basis?
No, in order to have Jill's system work on your computer, you have to have access. Yours don't have access. And you have to, you probably, if you have 2007, which I do for the assessors at home, it keeps telling you it's no longer
That happened.
backed up.
That
It
happened
wants you to update.
Yesterday, Windows quit supporting 2007 yesterday.
They quit yesterday. So
Windows 7
they
yesterday.
probably need to be updated too. But you have to have the software to use the programs.
Right, okay, just curious question. Then this last year, what have you been using instead of a laptop then? What have you been, you know,
We've been sharing
which computer is that?
the one that was here, just one. And right now, to save people money, I've been working from my home. And Kat, she hasn't really got any hours yet, but I actually gave her my computer from home so she can work remotely. So I didn't have to get a laptop.
Camera the same way you've been using a Lanty camera, or you using a cell phone, or you using
I haven't had to go out to do field work yet, but I do have a camera of my own that I'll use. But if for some reason, because there's a camera in there, it's got the old SD card they don't even make.
Okay.
So there again,
Okay.
rather planned than not.
Right, okay, if you go ahead and put these capital outlays out for equipment, how much is that gonna save us on the overall wages for your quote-unquote employee, your helper? Because you're cutting the time span down, you shouldn't have they shouldn't be working as much if they got more equipment to work with.
Believe me, we can both be working at the same time, and I could use a lot more hours from them.
Okay. Then, you got $1,000 miscellaneous. Be perfectly frank, $1,000 on a $16,000 budget is a pretty large percentage.
And what would you like it to be?
Well, if it's $1,000, we've actually itemized things under $1,000, okay? You itemize your stamps, you itemize your travel expenses, book manuals, that kind of stuff. So I would think that you've got an idea of where your expenses are at. So
I do now.
yeah, right, exactly, yeah, bingo, that's where I'm going with that.
How about this? How about you guys go over it, mark it all up, and then give it to me after you decide, and then I'll tell you if I can do it.
All right, that's fine,
All right,
that's fine.
let's move on.
All right, so no vote needed, that was just a review.
Nope.
No.
Okay. Public comment, 30 minutes.
3
What do you
minutes per
got?
person.
Wait a minute, no,
What do you got?
You got reports,
From what?
trustee reports, and park reports, and all that stuff.
I don't know if anyone wants to give a report.
You got that?
Supervisor report.
There's nothing on the town, nothing for the assessors, which we already got. Park, this is, yeah, there's nothing there. This is all approvable bills, but you're seeing, I get the one place, you got the referendum, you got the update. Plus, we don't have that. No, it's not on there.
Gotcha, okay.
Okay, we're all good? Okay. Any questions, comments?
In regards to your abatement or challenge of the abatement and general assistance, if you recall, in I believe the legal opinion on the park, they talked about how a resolution that was passed before the new board can adopt a new resolution. Remember that? Or some, I forget the exact language. The past boards have passed a levy. They adopted a levy that went forward. New boards, you have the legislative authority to change that process. You also have the power to give that money back. I'll put you in contact with the state representative who wrote the law on the 2.5 times limit, because you are the governing entity. You control that checkbook. If you make a decision to return that to taxpayers, you have the right to do that. And as far as 2-3 years back, somebody saying, hey, I paid in, they don't have a claim statutorily, from what we understand was done downstairs. They gave back $750,000.
So I guess what I want to know is who distributes this money?
Well, in their case, the township did it.
But how do you do it equally between those that have paid in a higher amount and a lower amount
Well,
of taxes?
you'll know what they paid in taxes from the tax bill.
So that means you basically have to go through every tax bill in the township.
Yes.
So you're going to have to get the assessor involved.
Actually, I think, and I'll get you the contact name to Shelbyville. If I recall, I thought the supervisor of assessment ran a printout with names and what the percentage was that individual paid for general assistance line item as part of their tax bill.
Okay.
And they were able to break it down for every citizen. This was their portion. So if, let's say, your bill was 2% of the total, well, whatever you have in the kitty, you get 2%. You might get 1%, or it just depends on what your portion was.
That you paid in.
And that was based on the last year's tax bill.
It's on a 1 year, so a person that's been there 30 years doesn't make it, it's the same percentage of.
And they had some people that called and complained about it, and they addressed it. You're the legislative body. Moving forward, you have the power of the purse to do basically within the guidelines of the law what you want with it. If you're going to decide to give it back, it's no different than them originally taking it from the people.
Okay, what do you do about people that have died? Are you allowed to give that to the family if they're still in the area?
That'd be a good question from, if you mean like they paid their tax last year, but since then they died?
Right.
Yeah.
Or have moved away?
I believe, again, I'll get you, Representative Paul broke his name. I think they ran into that with some that actually went through their trust. every situation is going to be different. Some people may not have a trust. And so some of them may not even be able to be dispersed. And I do know they sent some checks and they were never collected, never cashed. So they've got this chunk of money there that
Is in limbo.
is to this day, it's been over a year, nobody ever cashed a check. Some of them returned, and I think Representative Hall would probably answer a lot of those questions for you, point you in the process on how to do it. Because there's other places that have done it.
Okay.
There is a process.
Sure.
I think it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Well, we want to do it.
Yeah.
It's just that you got some.
The other thing it does, it prevents you from having what's going on in Wesley Township right now. 3 years in a row, they've been sued for what's called a tax objection lawsuit. And you're holding more than the law allows. The lawyers make money.
I was told about that. You can be sued for that.
And then you've got to correct that to avoid
Yeah.
that type of a lawsuit. But I'll put you in touch with him.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Speaking to the FOIA resolution, I find it hard to believe that you would charge somebody to make a paper document a PDF. So if you put this in the copier and copy, it's going to cost you around 15 cents a page to print another piece of paper. If you put this in the copier and hit scan to PDF, it really costs you nothing. So why, I understand under certain conditions you can charge that, but not under all conditions. Why would you even think about charging a resident to convert that to a PDF when all you gotta do is hit scan? It's one button push, about maybe an 1/8 of an inch difference on your finger push, and you got a PDF. You don't have to answer that, it's just my thoughts.
So you're not saying it's illegal to do it? Okay.
That's a good question.
If I may, one possible solution.
Maybe immoral is what you're saying, but not illegal. I get it.
Hey,
There's a website called Document Cloud. And
Document cloud.
Document Cloud, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's a free-based program. You can upload documents to that and either make them public or private. In your case, you want to make them private. When it's uploaded, it gives you an option to redact it, and then you can download it as a PDF that's all redacted. And the file is right there in the cloud the whole time protected. Unless you want to make it public, you just open it up and make it public if there's nothing that needs redacted.
and you can't see under the redaction.
Yeah, you can't see under the redaction.
It's irreversible.
So, and the reason I mention that, it gives you two options. One's a place to store the records, and one to work with easily redacted that's protected. So from a redaction standpoint, some programs out there, when you go to redact them, or even if you're blacking them out with a marker and then copy them again, on a big screen, you can see right through them. In some programs, you click on the black and it unredacts, and we can see right underneath it. Document Cloud will permanently redact it if you can never see what was there.
Okay. Next. Nothing?
Well, I was gonna, but I'm not now.
Okay.
I got a question. On the park referendum, I missed last meeting, so I don't know if I missed something in there, but at the meeting before, I understood that everything came out of the park for the winter, which is all well and good, and that any decisions on the park were gonna be tabled until the spring. Is this an additional tax that you're gonna put on a referendum to pay for the park that we already own?
Yes.
Pay
We're
for-
letting you guys
It's
make that
maintenance.
decision.
Pay for the maintenance of the park.
You guys are making the decision. It's just gonna be a referendum. You can vote no to it.
Right, and then what happens? It's back to you?
It's back to us.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if this was discussed
But-
before and I missed it, or...
But their plans are now then to take the park away.
You can't do that.
Yes, they can, because it's not deeded as a park. They put in a resolution to make it a park, but they didn't, but in the deed, the wording on the deed
Nobody
is
has ever
different.
said, if those of you that come regularly to the meetings and listen regularly know what I said. There's no intention to take the park away. None. I've never said it. Have I ever told you that? Never have I ever said we were going to even attempt to sell this park. As a matter of fact, hold it, as a matter of fact,
Not sell it.
excuse me, matter of
Close
fact, you sat right in there in front of me and her and said you wished I could sell it.
Oh,
You said it.
absolutely, but
And you
we
said
can't.
it. So
Legally, though,
don't
we
accuse
can't.
me. No, she heard you. Don't accuse me of selling, getting all uptight about
I'm
me
not
selling
saying sell
something
it,
that
but
you
you're
wanted
claiming
sold.
that the property is just real property and not a park, which it's not set up on the deed as a park.
Okay.
But it does have wording that says that it should be available to the citizens of the second part, which is the
It will always
township,
be available to the citizens.
as a park.
It's to be forever held.
Either way,
Look,
we're paying
all
for
the,
the
all you,
park,
all
whether
the
it
park,
comes out of
all the park
township funds
says
or
is
its
this,
own funds.
is that it has to be forever held and maintained. There's nothing in any statute that I have ever read that says what level of maintenance you have to do to that park. Could it be a primitive park? It could be a primitive park. You don't, I grew up in primitive parks. They were parks. We went there and played. My mom took us there. We played. There was no bathrooms there. There was no running water there. There was none of that there. We did our own thing. All I'm telling you is, I'm not going, listen to me, please. I'm not going to abandon the park, but I'm not going to force all the residents of this township to pay for something that they don't enjoy or want to enjoy. So nobody is abandoning the park. We just want to make the park to be good for everybody and affordable to all the citizens. So is the grass going to get mowed? Yes. Is the garbage going to get picked up? Yes. Do we need a $15,000 well? No. But I didn't drill that well. But I certainly don't want to pay the power to run it. You know what, hey, I stand out in the middle of a hayfield every day in the heat all summer long. I carry my own water. There's no wells where I work or play. So I don't have a problem carrying a few bottles of water if I'm going to go play volleyball or whatever, which I don't. If I was, I'd carry my water. Bring a cooler. I mean, you don't have to drill me no $15,000 well to tell me I need to stay cool. I can figure it. Plus, you can't even drink the water.
Yeah, it's not even close. Not possible.
Let me insert something here, please. The previous administration that accepted this park, they didn't go out and get the opinion of the constituents, the taxpayers, what they thought. For lack of a better term, they crammed it down our throats, whether we liked it or not. Is it a nice park? Yeah, it's a very nice park. I'm proud to have it, okay? But there was no forethought put into it. How the hell are we going to afford to maintain it? That's the bottom line. We've got
Forethought, they just didn't do it right.
the
They had
forethought.
forethought that it was going to be self-sufficient.
Well,
They were going to charge.
here's what I was
But
told
that's
by the
illegal.
former supervisor just the other day that took the park. And I had one of those angry discussions with him. And I told him what I felt about the park. And I didn't feel like it was an asset but a liability. And so when we got done, he said, but it's one of the most beautiful pieces of property in the area. And I said, so explain to me what that has to do with anything. And he didn't even have a response. So, you know.
Well, if I can make a suggestion.
So I'm just saying to
I
you,
would send
I got
a
it.
deed
You
to
got
the
dumped on me
attorney.
too.
Let the attorney give you a proper
There's absolutely
opinion
no need for me to do
on what
that.
proper use, benefit, and behoof of said party is worded on the deed.
But there again,
Proper use.
that's a resolution, though. And
No, that's on the deed.
no, that was not on the deed.
It is a two on the deed.
That's
quoted.
That's deeded to the
Together with
citizens.
the tenements and appurtenances, they're unto belonging to have and to hold the said real estate unto said party of the second part, Wesley Township, and to the proper use, benefit, and behoof of said property to the second part, which is
So who
Wesley
determines the
Township,
proper use?
forever.
The proper use.
Well, there you go. Get the attorney to tell you what the proper use would be,
attorney's
considering
spot
that they
on.
accepted it
Right,
as a
isn't
part.
that attorneys aren't right.
Kurt,
Okay? We're not getting rid of the park.
No.
That's what you've already said.
No, never.
Hell no.
that has been a big pie in the
I
sky.
have a question concerning the referendum. Now, you wanna pass a referendum to take a levy? So we're gonna get taxed on our
Yes,
property taxes?
yes.
for the
We're
park
gonna,
meeting?
we're gonna give the
Okay.
taxpayers
We're
that
not doing
option.
That being
it, you voted in, you're doing it.
That being said, at a previous meeting, you said that the amount of maintenance was $4,000 annually.
The best we can get a handle on.
Okay, well, but then you also have, hopefully, as time goes on, improvements. You
If it's
know?
financially feasible, yes.
So, I mean, what total amount of levy are you guys actually thinking about? I mean, this is just spitballing, I understand. But what, a $10,000 total levy from the citizenry?
First, here's what I told Leonard that
I
I
mean, you
wanted.
gotta have some kind of dollar amount.
This
in your
park
head.
has been so mismanaged. It's a joke. There's no accounting, record keeping, nothing. There's never been a budget for this thing, which is a shame, because it's been there it's been there long enough to have a budget and know what it costs to run it. It's a shame. It's a complete sham. And nobody knows where the money that ever comes into this park brought in $2,300 and $2,400 and some odd dollars. I got it written down somewhere. It doesn't matter at this point, $100 or so. So it brought in $2,300 or $2,400. You know how much we were told it brought in a year? $9,000. Now, here's the deal. If it brought in $2,300 or $2,400, and we were told that it always brings in $9,000, either one of two things happened. Either we were lied to or someone stole the money.
Or both.
Or both.
Well, but you know, you got to prove it, and look, that's $200 an hour to prove it too, I guess. I don't know, but it's you know, I'm up to here with legal fees. To be honest with you, I don't want any more legal fees, and right now I don't want any more legal opinions because they don't seem to be very good. So go ahead.
The way I see it, the residents are either gonna pay for the maintenance through the park maintenance tax, and it would be set aside and you can't, it's a levy that you can't spend on anything else.
Absolutely.
Or it's gonna come out of the general fund anyway.
The difference is in the general
So you're paying
fund.
the taxes anyway. If you pass a referendum, they can't take that money and go spend it on, you know, the Christmas tree for the.
No, it can only be used on maintenance and improvements to the park.
Exactly. And if it falls back on the town funds to maintain and support the park, under present conditions, under present budget, it'll be a primitive park, okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Everybody likes that park the way it has been, okay? I like to see it maintained the way it has been, if not even.
Maybe
But we
roof on the pavilion.
but we can't afford to do that, okay? It's a financial burden that we can't bear right now, okay? So that's the other option is leave it to the taxpayer to say, yeah, you know, we'll throw in another $6,000, $7,000 cooperative to make sure it's up to par, water is running and lights are on and tables are all fixed, that kind of stuff. Or it resorts back to the township, to a primitive park, whatever we can afford. And it's, everybody lives on a budget, or most of us live on a budget. We're doing the same thing as you would have to do in your home if you had more going out and you had coming in, you gotta cut back someplace. And that's what's happening here. You know, the previous administration spent more on it than they had.
So the referendum that you want to have on the ballot, how much, like he asked,
Don't know yet.
Well, you
I
gotta get a
believe you have to
projection.
have.
Yes,
We will.
yes, that's a fact,
We will.
yes.
We will, but it's not
I
till
believe
November.
there is a limit to how much you can ask for the park levy. I believe it's 2 cents for every dollar. And down the line, you figure out how much you're paying in taxes and then add 2 cents for every dollar. So if you're paying $7,000 tax bill you're gonna pay another $140 or
$10 a house.
$70.
You know, how many houses do we have?
And that's where we need to look at the whole picture, sit down and see where our actual expense was at last year. At the end of this fiscal year, those numbers will be available. Then we can sit down and say, all right, this is what we need to support that.
You've got this coming summer to try to figure
This is
that out.
Yes,
Carol, that's
yes.
exactly what I said to Leonard.
We want to get it out here, so get
We want
everybody's
to put this
opinion, let you
thing on
know what we're
trial,
doing.
and we'll watch, we're gonna put a committee together. We're gonna watch this park, we're gonna maintain this park. Then we will know, I promise you.
Right, then you'll be able to-
When I'm done at the end of the year, I'll know exactly what it costs to maintain this park.
And we'll also know how much.
And that'll be
actually
something
came
nobody's
back.
ever known.
Right.
We'll actually know.
And we'll know how much money to ask.
Right.
Then that's the point.
Are you gonna have a park ranger?
No, boo-boo, we're not. All right, listen. This is a sign-up sheet. Anybody who wants to sit with us, talk about the park and the rules, and it ain't gonna be a 40-page deal like we have now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sign this sheet. We're gonna arrange to have some meetings. I know I'll be there, I know Sherry will be there. I just delegated her, and
You're in.
Now I'm down to $1 an hour.
you're in. Now she's down to $1.25 an hour for what she puts in, but she's happy doing it, that's the main thing, and the jokes are good. So anyway, if you want to sign on, please do, and then what we're going to do, once I get the names and phone numbers, I will call you. And I will say, what is the best time for you folks? Now, everyone can't choose a different time, we all got to be flexible. Here's what I can tell you. Her and I are both here all day on Thursdays and Fridays. We can do it during the days on Thursday or Friday. We can do it if we have to stay over for an hour in the evenings till somebody gets off work that wants to be there. We can do that.
I just wanted to say one thing tonight. I don't want to go into the past, I want to go into the future. And we looked for a new board, although there's 2 board members up there, and you know who I'm talking about. I can't discuss one. But I really would like Mr. Strawson to pay back the $1,150. I voided that check last year, no such record. You were asked by Sandy Marshall, why can't you ask ComEd into paying for it? You went ahead and turned in that bill for your sons to cut down those trees. I also asked the other board member if he would ask you in private so I didn't have to do this tonight in front of everyone, but he wouldn't do it out of friendship. So friendship or not, you owe the township back $1,150 for paying your sons to cut those trees down. It's a class 4 felony. Take it or leave it. You can't do that. It's personal gain. You had no rights to pay your sons to cut trees down during an electric storm when the rest of us had no power, and the rest of us didn't get our trees cut to have power. We had no power either. So take it or leave it. And the other thing is, who's going to be the park manager if anyone does sign up for committees?
I just said,
I'm sorry, I didn't.
we do not know that yet.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, there's
so-
certain people that will sign up if other people aren't involved, vice versa.
Then we don't want those people.
Hey, cool.
If you're not willing to work with everybody, then don't work with anybody.
That's not a
That's,
problem.
that's the way I see it,
Not a problem.
okay? So if you don't like that, don't sign up.
Oh, I will.
Because you'll work with everybody in there if you work there. And I'm hoping there's some folks in the country, maybe somebody that lives next to you while you live next to her, so you'll work with me, right? So we'll get some people that'll work with us and be glad to do it, and hopefully have a positive attitude, and we'll get something done. Go ahead.
Mike, in regards to the question about Bill Strauss and his son getting the money for that tree,
Yeah.
at that time, they called the tree service. The tree service was busy because of the storm. It was gonna be at least a day
Do you
and a
want the
half,
answer to this or not?
possibly 2 days. ComEd said they're not gonna hook the power up to the rest of the people out there in that section without that tree removed. And that's why Bill's sons come out and remove the tree.
The rest of us didn't.
Somebody
have
else.
power either.
Pardon?
I'm done. Have a good night.
What about Isaac Walton?
Nobody had power for 2 days.
There you go.
Nobody.
Why?
Because it was
Because
a
nobody
storm.
could get in there to remove the tree because of ComEd. You can ask Joe right there.
No.
The fire department stopped me from
I
going
don't
in there.
agree.
And how much did you cost the township, Cindy, with your lawsuit? You even know? $500 deductible per lawsuit. There's 4, that's 10,000.
The FOIA requester did not
For the
cause,
attorneys, they do not pay for settlement.
the FOIA requester did not cause a lawsuit. The previous board and the clerk caused the lawsuit.
And asking questions.
I heard people saying, put in a lawsuit, you need some money, put a lawsuit in there. It's not coming out of the township. Yes, it did.
The FOIA requester did not cause the bill.
They did
It's
not
the doc-
cause the bill.
it's the
Why did
past-
they have to take it and make a lawsuit?
The past administration.
They didn't have to do that.
Well, we gotta move forward.
They couldn't get
If
any
we're gonna drop
records.
that lawsuit and let's move forward, to save the township money, let's go forward.
You can't
Isn't that what
drop,
everybody's saying?
you can't drop a lawsuit unless somebody pays the attorney.
Why
You're
is
not
it
gonna
all
force-
sorts of lawsuits?
I can tell you why we started the lawsuit if anybody's interested, but that's up to the chairman, because we sued the township too.
No, we don't.
I know.
And we did it at the request of a lot of people, because nobody else could or would. And that process got to where you're at today.
People
And
that did not know where the money came from. They kept insisting, it ain't gonna come out. Township's pocket, it's gonna come out of Florida. I heard it many times.
it should have come out of Florida had the supervisor done her job.
$500 deductible.
Kurt, I'll ask you, what
And they don't pay the supervisor.
is the bottom line, the reason you had to file?
Previous admin didn't do her job. That's why
Why
they
did we
paid.
file?
Yeah,
Because they wouldn't give us the records.
thank you.
Like I
The
said.
bottom line is, whoever elected the
That's
past
not our
board
fault.
members caused
That's not our
everything.
fault. I
To-
put 3 lawsuits on hold, and I'll turn around and I'll put them in. I don't have a problem with it. I got an OMA lawsuit and I got 2 FOIA lawsuits. I put on hold. I'll turn them in. I don't have a problem with it, but it's not my fault. If I turn them lawsuits in, it's not my fault. I didn't drain this township. Your previous supervisor and your previous did. And if you want to go, if you want to press that issue, have your board go after them.
Bring your
She's
FOIAs
not
in
a
and she
board.
can fill them. That was them. What happened to
You
her?
know what? I do FOIA and she answers them timely, but my lawsuits have nothing to do with her. Nothing.
Well, then I
Joanne's
know.
not here.
So you
Joanne's not here. So you're beating a dead horse.
You can't blame me.
You're beating a dead horse. She's not here anymore.
I'm not
She
beating
could
a
care
dead horse. Then
less.
go after and prosecute the people that need to
She could
prosecute.
care less.
Your supervisor's bonded. Why don't they go after her bond?
Why don't you? Then we don't have to.
You guys don't
Go
know.
after the right person.
It's all cost. The attorneys will pay, they're gonna drop a lawsuit, fork out a bar.
They can't.
All right. Motion to adjourn.
Hey, Justin, adjourn. I second it. Kathleen first. Cummins second, Strauss, sorry, you're
Are
out.
you adjourned yet?
All in favor? All in favor?